So this is my current sorry excuse for a layout, as you can see. And I'm not gonna lie, this thing does have quite the story behind it. It was not supposed to be like this at all. It was made with plans to be Duck's branch line, but this has kind of evolved as, I don't really have to say that. Currently we have two different boards. This is a 2x4 that is attached to the bottom of this. How big is this one? 35. So we have a 35-inch by 4 feet board on the top and a 2x4 on the bottom. That has been screwed in on basically every side, and that makes the main layout as you can see. Now, being that this was going to be the Little Western or Duck's branch line, this was kind of a last-minute inclusion to save the wood that we already had. To explain, this thing was way too small for the track plan that I had initially drawn up. It was supposed to be the smallest Kato curve or radius with a single straight and a half straight on either side. And unfortunately, it was both too small and not long enough to fit that radius. There was a pretty significant overhang on the table, and about an inch came off on this side. Of course, I was kind of mad, thought I was going to have to get a whole new piece of wood here, but my fiance had the good idea to extend it, and we got the 2x4 here to kind of do just that. As you can see, it is secured in here and just different places along the board, like in the back, to make sure it all stays as level as it can, and now will serve as the castle lock. Or again, that's the plan. Something may happen that throws that completely off, so we'll see. At the very least, we have this little bridge area now that actually has a drop-off that I hope to fill with water. What you may have already noticed is what's keeping this track elevated is play rail risers. I just happened to use what was available to me, and they just so happened to be the perfect height, so they are saving the track right now. This works a little too well. You probably don't believe me, and that's understandable, but my heaviest engine, which is Molly, takes this with no problem, so they low-key kind of saved the day, and if it works, it works. Now, like I said before, this was going to be kind of like an oval shape and have the straight and half straight right here. And the reason I'm opting to use these Kato 4 and 7/8, I guess, half straights is because these are the same size as the Kato signals. And with any luck, there will be one placed here and over here behind the mountain, which doesn't seem too viable right now, but I'm hoping to pull this area out so there's actually accessibility and it will be more visible. Am I even visible right now? Hello? Fuck you. So these are kind of just more stand-ins until those are here and I can drill out where they'll sit, all the, extra stuff. I've never worked with Kato signals, so that'll be a fun add-on to this video. You're also probably wondering what this mess of paper and cardboard and tape in the middle is. And like I said, this was going to be the coastal area. I'll put up some behind the scenes or work in progress pictures of what it was supposed to be, and yeah, now it's this. I've kind of been bulking it out, throwing more stuff in there, so don't worry, this is not final. It will not have this exact shape, but it is kind of textured up to more resemble a rock face, and with any luck, when the plaster does go on, this wrinkled up paper will help in that process. Pretty sure you couldn't see me. Imagine Winston. Yeah, that was Winston. Winston said all of that. He said it for me. And just like over here, how I have the shout out my British users, giving you a little bit of representation. I have the signal mark here to show where that one will be placed and the other one on the back. And it's kind of been knocked over here a little bit, but a slight outline of where the track will go, and that's to guide me in this area, since the risers also have little marks, I'm kind of just laying everything out to help me as I go. And if at any point you're wondering why the mountain is made of cardboard and paper, I'm just doing my, recycling part, really. Now, the last thing I want to touch on again is the exact track layout, since, like I said, this did go through a couple changes as this has been built. Instead of being an oval, it has more of like a shoe shape. It kind of comes around here. The curve is a lot more significant on this area. I'll get better pictures to explain. And because of that, it's a bit more drastic. There are larger curves in this area, but it also hits this at a more drastic angle. So it does mean that engines like Molly or any engine that's a bit bigger will have to take this layout at a slower speed, or I'll just have to be a bit more accommodating with the controls. But at the very least, Molly does work on this, especially this part, which is what I was more worried about. So, if you've seen my customs anyway, you know I have a small engine policy without even meaning to, so this works out just fine in my opinion. And thankfully at this point nothing is permanent. As you can see, the tape is still not exactly 100% down on this board, and it won't be until the plaster arrives. I hope to make another video going through the entire process of making this mountain actually a mountain. And of course I'm still kinda in the process of extending it if I want to. Maybe it'll go more into this area, or this area will be a mine that connects into the mountain. I think I'm the most excited for this water area though, and once I have this filled up and a little barrier built, I'll hopefully get some Woodland Scenics water resin in here to do just that. This could very easily be a bridge if I found a way to build one kind of here on the sides and maybe hide the risers, but I'm thinking it might be simpler and honestly more fun to make it Castle Loch. Put the ballast where the water goes, and maybe right in front of the hill or on the top of it have that castle ruins. You can probably see where I'm going with this from this alone. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is what I've managed to get done in a matter of 2 or 3 days. And when the plaster comes, hopefully we'll fit that into a single day. So let's just run some trains.
Either subscribe, donate, or get the fuck out.